Hey Rollers, another wonderful viewers out there, it's Anthony, and the crew and I just got back from Comic-Con Revolution held in West Palm Beach, Florida over this weekend. And despite the size of it and the fact that it was a one-day event, we had an absolute blast. It was wonderful getting out there, getting to dress up in my Grey Warden Commander cosplay. It's not quite finished yet, but I actually have a shield now. Still got the awesome Starfang, and the rest of the armor kind of going. I'm already sweating bullets, so you can already imagine what it was like for me at the convention center. But it was great getting to see a lot of you, being able to speak with a lot of the members of the community, and getting just to know everybody better. And also seeing all the awesome cosplay on display, and some of the panels were really enjoyable. And even getting to meet some of the people there, especially we actually had the opportunity to sit down, speak with Ming Chen from Comic Book Men. And that was just completely mind-blowing. And again, it was a lot of fun. I'm going to try and keep rambling to a minimum and get to the point of actually showing some of the photos. Unfortunately, we didn't get any video because the fact that you can tell from the quality of this potato, it would have been great. And we didn't get a whole lot of shots either, unfortunately, because I was kind of the walking billboard, because I had a sign that said, "Ask me about ReadyComicsRoll" on the back. But we did get some excellent shots, and again, we got to speak with some awesome individuals. And I actually participated in the cosplay contest that happened there as well. So what I'm going to do is kind of slide over to the side. So we're going to get some room. There actually may be a jump cut because it's really hard to work my phone with this. But before getting into it, of course, if you enjoy this video, if you'd like to see more, because of course there's going to be more cosplay. We also do a lot of content involving video games, comic books, tabletops, and all other forms of geekdom. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this video. And also check out our podcast, which is not only on YouTube, it's also going to be on Podbean, iTunes, and Google Play. All you have to do is search ReadyComicsRoll, and you can download, listen to us anywhere at any time. But without further ado, let me go ahead and there'll be a quick jump cut, and I'm going to go ahead and show off some of the photos from the convention. As fun as it was to make this costume, and especially to be able to wear it and show off my hard work, it is definitely great to be out of it, especially after long periods of time like it was at the convention center. I almost thought I was going to just pass out from dehydration, which is also a very important concept. Make sure to stay hydrated, especially when you're wearing a lot of gear. Very important. But the way I'm going to go ahead and do this is, like I said, I'm going to kind of show off the pictures almost in a slideshow, but some stories associated with some of them. But you're going to go ahead and see them over here on this side. And before we jump right into this, if you happen to see yourself throughout any of the pictures I'm going to be showing off, please let us know down in the comments below, because we definitely want to make sure you get credit for your awesome cosplay. So one of the first pictures I want to show off is actually from the Aces High tattoo booth. There is an awesome and award-winning Deadpool cosplayer who actually has the Infinity Gauntlet. I just love the expressions kind of plastered on there. And one of the captions I actually put on was, "Who gave Deadpool the Infinity Gauntlet?" Because that's honestly the worst person that you want to see holding one. And the next photo we have is a group of Mandalorian cosplayers. And as a huge Star Wars fan, it's really cool to see all the different variations in the armor and weaponry that they come up with. I'm actually thinking of doing a Star Wars build of my own sometime in the near future, but I'm more looking to go with a Knights of the Republic, like armored Jedi Guardian. But just to see this group, and they were just great. And even then, I'm going to go ahead and put up the next picture too. For an action shot, we decided to make a huge joke of it, the fact that there was actually a bounty put on my head, and then this Mandalorian group is the one that collected on it. And what convention would be complete without a little bit of magic? And for the action shot, she was actually nice enough to go ahead. It seems to be like a recurring theme where anybody with a sword gets to just bang it against the shield as I'm trying to defend myself and kind of just stab back. And man, I just love the attention to detail that you can go ahead and see in this shot. I really need to learn how to make less derpy or goofy faces and maybe look a little bit more serious, a little bit more fierce, especially when I'm supposed to be like this Grey Warden commander. But you can go ahead and see to the side of me, you have S15 Costuming, who did an incredible job doing an armored Wastelander. And to a point where it was a real Road 66 sign, but what looks like rebar is really just dowel rods with a string just wrapped around it, but then there's real rust on it. And he was carrying around this just massive bumper sword. It was just phenomenal. And we traded a few different tips. It was actually him telling me how to improve on my costuming, because you have the little slashes on some parts of my armor, but he gave me a good tip as far as using a soldering iron to go ahead and make those deeper, more realistic looking gashes. And then things kind of went all downhill from there and escalated very quickly when I said Fallout New Vegas is absolute trash. and then he proceeded to try and kill me with a giant bumper sword. And then we have this awesome father-son combo of a Deathstroke and Shadow. I mean, can you imagine the crossover game that would spawn? And at this convention I actually learned something new, because a friend of mine, I found out, was one of the group leaders of the 501st in this area. And he was actually nice enough to go ahead and let my son Edmund borrow his Kylo Ren helmet as well as his replica lightsaber. So you kind of have these shots of Edmund that I have set up. Kind of the joke story is he's first receiving this lightsaber, he's kind of looking at it. Then he kind of looks up and he's like, okay, which end of this device do I stab my daddy with? To which I just make an absolute bolt for it. And then you kind of just see him like ready to ignite the lightsaber and go to town. And of course, what a thrilling moment this was that I kind of mentioned earlier. The guys and I actually had the opportunity to speak with and discuss like podcasting and comics in general with Ming from Comic Book Man. And it was just great. We really appreciate that you took the time to speak with us. And I'm still just geeking out over that meeting. And yet again, one day I'll learn not to be such a derp when making faces, but today is not going to be that day. But you can definitely admire just the work of this Gundam that you kind of see on display. And for me, that's definitely kind of like a cosplay endgame. Once I know I can make a costume like that, is when I know I kind of mastered my craft. And of course we had a little bit more fun at the 501st display. There was a fully functional sound and all R2-D2 kind of moving around. And of course John had to rep the Galactic Empire, so you see him kind of posing with the Imperial Pilot in the little box art as if he's an action figure over at that booth. And even Edmund had a lot of fun with the R2-D2, but little did he know that he was actually going to be receiving a very important mission. And then of course we have this amazing Zarya cosplayer from Overwatch, really showing the true Russian firepower on display. And then of course you have the three of us dorks standing in front of the little display for the Comic-Con Revolution for West Palm Beach, kind of representing ReadyComicsRoll, as you know we will. They have another example of some expert craftsmanship on display with this Necromonger armor from Chronicles of Riddick. It was really cool just to see all the little intricacies and detail to it, and how it was a lot more functional and mobile than kind of my setup currently is. And as fans of Dragon Ball, it was an absolute treat to see this cooler cosplayer, and just the way that this is built. Like, of course, you got to kind of have the muscle suit, but just to see the helmet, I'm really just trying to figure out how to kind of deconstruct it and kind of put something like that together myself. Then, of course, you have the awesome Goku player right next to the cooler cosplayer as well, and they both managed to stop killing each other just long enough to go ahead and pose for the rest of the crowd. So you know I had to get a shot with Cooler, and you can see the sign where John had to kind of just jam it into my back so I could still get in the picture. But I kid you not, the moment I came up to this cosplayer, I said, you know what? I've always been a big fan of your brother Frieza's work, but of the two brothers, I always thought you were cooler. At that point, he just destroyed the planet, and that was the end of it. But enough of the cheesy jokes. Now for the photos I'm sure you all really want to see, which are a few of them from the actual cosplay contest that was at the end of the night. And the first photo I'm going to go ahead and show off, it's kind of a little bit more of an action shot, a little bit blurry, so I apologize for that. But it is an amazing Mr. Freeze cosplay. And the kind of joke was, it's kind of posted up in that meme photo where I just said, like, the price of ice is too damn high. And then I definitely know that this was a steampunk outfit, but it kind of looked like they were going for a Steampunk Cthulhu. Not entirely sure, but those wings were fully operational and also had light-up goggles. It was really cool. And then, of course, you have one of the cosplay winners. She was actually going as a Protoss wizard. And even more interesting is the fact that she mentioned that this was her first cosplay build, which kind of just made me feel like, oh, well, that's your first build? Really? That kind of just look at what I came up with, which still, I mean, people said it's great, but I mean, just look at the detail involved in this, and that there's parts of it that were actually light up, and actually what you don't see is there was actually carvings into the sword, which also glowed as well. She definitely deserved it. And of course, you can't have a con of any kind without the Clown Prince of Crime. That rhyme was completely unintentional. And again, we have S-15 costuming, kind of showing off his full armored Wastelander cosplay with that massive bumper sword. And you would think that it's like super heavy. I mean, it's still got some heft to it, but the fact that it was made out of like EVA foam as well as some other parts, it's actually a lot more lightweight than you think. But he did great work on the actual costume itself, the posing, and yeah. But one of the costumes that really blew my mind was definitely this one. I actually had the opportunity to speak to the gentleman. He told me it took 6 months of just hot gluing all the shells that you see on there onto this outfit. And the actual jaw of the skeleton mask moves as well. Fantastic work. Another winner. Definitely deserved it. Now, much to a lot of people's surprise, this beautifully crafted armored Wonder Woman cosplay did not win any awards, unfortunately. But it's too bad this shot really doesn't do it justice, because there's a lot of just detail, a lot of carvings, a lot of intricacies to this particular armor. And again, yet another suit that kind of just put mine to shame. And for some of the youth cosplay, you really don't get to see it too well. Again, I'm sorry for the blurry shot, but you have this awesome Scarecrow cosplayer. And this costume was actually made from the same guy that did the whole shelled skeleton pirate. That's actually his son. He made that outfit out of burlap sack. Here, look at this guy. Look at this guy. I got to show off my cosplay. Again, it's not even fully completed, but I'm still really proud of the progress that I've made, and I still wanted to take that shot. But considering just the caliber of cosplayers that were out there, I knew I really needed to step up my game. So what this shot is I actually asked them to cut the music, and I gave kind of a rousing speech as the Warden Commander, Hero Ferelden, and gave the Grey Warden oath, banged the shield, and went, "For the Wardens!" And I may not have won any awards, but I can tell you I definitely won the hearts of the crowd. Everybody was cheering, and it was just an awesome moment for me. And for the group cosplays, this is actually a treat. You had a dancing group of Power Rangers. And for another group cosplay, you actually have the Orphaned Women of X-Men. You have Ren Marie, who's actually cosplaying as Rogue, as well as Invincible Kiwi, who's cosplaying as Kitty Pryde. And it was great to actually be able to meet that group and be able to speak with them. They were a lot of fun, and they definitely earned their win as the group cosplay winners. What's unfortunately not shown is the awesome X-Dab that they kind of performed for it. And I promised myself I would never dab in my lifetime, and now I just did for this video, and I felt like I've just died a little bit inside. And then you have the Comic-Con Revolution Cosplay Contest Best of Show. Drum roll, please. And it was S15 costuming with his Fallout Wastelander armored bumper sword of devastation. And it was just like a real Cinderella story. It was a great costume, but even he didn't think he was going to win, and he did. He just blew away the judges and the rest of the crowd, won this sweet medal that you see him holding, as well as $500 cash. And we're actually trying to do, funny enough, if you haven't gotten the idea by now, is for this week's podcast, we're going to try and do cosplaying and conventions in general. So we're going to try, based on everybody's schedule, to see if we can go ahead and get him on and kind of discuss all that stuff in general. And to finish things off, we have this group shot of everybody that participated and won in the 2018 Comic-Con Revolution Cosplay Contest. Yeah, and that will do it. I greatly appreciate, again, getting the opportunity to meet and speak with a lot of you. I'm really sorry that I didn't get a lot more pictures and I wasn't able to get everybody's names to go ahead and give them credit. It was a blast of a convention. Definitely look forward to seeing what they're going to do next year. But again, this isn't going to be the only convention we as ReadyComicsRoll are going to do. We definitely want to try and get out there, again, engage with a lot of the community, help build a larger community of people who just love all things geek. So one of the events I know I've already pretty much booked and set up for, and I know the guys are actually trying to work towards, is going to MegaCon. But we also want to try other little local events like this one, because West Palm Beach, it was like a hop, skip, and a jump for some of us to get there. And that'll about do it for this video. Again, I just want to thank everybody involved with Comic-Con Revolution, all the people we had the opportunity to meet and speak with. If you see your pictures anywhere in this video, be sure to let us know down in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and ding that bell for future videos, because this is definitely not going to be the last time we're going to do something involving convention or cosplay. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all the other social media we have listed down below. Be sure to check out our podcast. You can find it here on YouTube, as well as Podbean, iTunes, and Google Play. Also follow us on Twitch as we do random live streams throughout the week, especially for me later on at night around the time of infomercials. You can catch me playing Monster Hunter World probably for quite a while. Be sure to join our Discord server so you can speak with the ReadyComicsRoll Crew as well as the other rollers. And if you'd like to help us grow, head over to our Patreon and become a patron today. Thanks always for watching. Until next time.